recording.
Good afternoon. I'm now going to call the Wednesday, October 2nd, 2024 meeting of the Norfolk County Commission to order. On Wednesday, March 29th, 2023, Governor Healy signed into law Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, an act making appropriations for the fiscal year 2023, which included a 2-year extension of the option for public bodies to hold remote meetings by suspending certain provisions of the open meeting law. Mass General Law, Chapter 30A, Section 20. This action was effective immediately, extending the current option for remote meetings to March 31st, 2025. We are live and remote today. Thank you. If you join me in saluting the flag. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. I've called this meeting to order. I'm going to call a roll call. Commissioner Stady.
I am present, sir.
Commissioner Collins. Commissioner Shea is present. We have a quorum. Number 3, there is no executive session today. Number 4, minutes of the meeting of September 25th, 2024 for approval.
I move approval as presented.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote. Number 5, no appointments. Number 6, public comment. Every meeting of the Norfolk County Commission includes a agenda item for public comment. For anyone out in Zoom land, as I call it, or present that wants to come in and see us and comment on matters of importance to the county. So if anyone out in Zoom land has a public comment, now is the time to bring it. Director Cronin, have you received anyone for public comment?
No, sir.
Okay, that's the end of public comment for today. No more public comment. Number 7, old business, I have none. If anyone has any, now's the time. Number 8, personnel considerations.
Mr. Chairman, we have several at the Aggie School, if I may.
Yes.
All right, first, I move to approve the notice of resignation of Mary Patey, I hope I'm saying that right, of Belmont, as a substitute instructor at the rate stated effective date 9/26/24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Next, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the notice for contingent employment for Victoria White of Franklin as a substitute instructor at the rate stated effective date 10/3/24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
And lastly, Mr. Chairman, I move approval of the notice of contingent employment for Nicholas Stubbs of Canton, Mass. as a student worker at the flat rate stated, and the effective date for Nicholas' appointment is 10/3/24. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
That concludes the
Thank you.
appointments.
Commissioner, would you like to do the payroll and expense warrants? for approval?
Absolutely, sure will. Mr. Chairman, move approval for the warrant list of 9/25/24. First item is to make approval for the payroll of the school for 25-13, parentheses 7. The amount is $384,061.11. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Next, I move approval for the payroll of the county, 25-13, the amount of $149,535.17. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Third, I move approval of 10-2-24 for the Wallaston Recreational Facility credit card payment, the amount of $44,715. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
And final, I move approval for the expense of the county, 10-125, the sum of $52,020.02. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
That concludes that. Jim.
Excellent. Moving right along. Number 10, report of the American Rescue Plan Act of 2021, as well as number 11, which is warrants. I believe we have 3 or 4 warrants today for opera funds. Director Cronin.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, you approved in the warrant a total of 5 new
ARP applications, two to the town of Brookline, two to the town of Norwood, and one to Milton. I'm preparing
Hold on, Mr. Chairman, I don't see those here.
you don't have them on the warrant?
No, they're not listed on the warrant, Mr. Chairman. I did not read that out. I read payroll school, payroll county, Wallaston Rec.
I noticed that.
Expense county. There's no-
We got
there's no
another
outline
paper
here.
somewhere?
All right.
So we
May,
can't do those,
If we, well, you can do them.
but they're not on the warrant.
He didn't have anything to read. Well, you can read them right off.
We can
No.
revise it. Warrant is a posted item. So this would be an amendment to the warrants that you've already approved. If you're inclined.
Okay,
That'd be great.
Well, generally, we always list them with the payroll and expense.
Correct.
Okay.
all right,
Thank
whatever.
you.
Sorry.
Why don't you give them to the Commissioner
Let it
Stady to read into the record, and then we'll approve it
Fresh off the
separately.
press.
All
And
right,
you can, and then we'll take any comment at all. Go ahead, Commissioner.
all right. So what am I reading? What am I reading here now? Going back to,
Going back to the first one on the warrants for
Number
Alpha.
nine.
could I ask, actually, if Mr. Cronin proceed with his presentation, and then we can
Sure,
go back and
okay,
take
all
it?
right.
Thank
Go
you.
ahead.
Before you this afternoon are five items for ARPA consideration, two for the town of Brookline, two for the town of Norwood, and one for Milton. The total amount that the county is looking to move through your approval today will be $3.281 million. I think I've reminded the commissioners over the last several weeks, while we've had little action on the award side, there's been a lot of action within the portal to move some applications to the status. This reflects that activity. There are still a couple more following this, so I suspect in the next week or two, you'll see a few more coming in. I am preparing a presentation for the commissioners over the next week or two, which will give you a more holistic view of how the ARPA program is beginning to close out. But to sort of give you a little bit of insight on what that is beginning to look like today, you will hopefully approve two Norwood applications. That closes Norwood out. With that, the county will be 19 communities completed for awards against their allocation, 19. 9 communities will remain with some amount of money still to allocate. That includes Brookline, Canton, Cohasset, Dedham, Dover, Franklin, Medway, Franklin, Milton, and the last one is Plainville. I'm sorry, there's one more, Wellesley. The overall approach we're having is to ensure that every community understands the time frame involved with obligating funds before the end of December. Many of the applications that are pending will close out several of these communities, including Milton and Canton. So they're very close. So next week, I hope to give you some more information on the holistic diagnostic view of how the program is starting to close out. But with your approval of these applications today, we will have approximately $6.6 million remaining to award. So that is the brief update. If you would like, I can give a description of the proposed grant applications now, and then you can move to perhaps considering approval of them, Mr. Chairman, if that's what you'd like to do.
Why don't you synopsize them, then we'll
Okay.
go to
The first under
Commissioner
consideration,
Stady to approve them.
the first is for town of Norwood, 1.42 million. This is a water infrastructure project for the Westover Parkway culvert. It is replacing a bridge that carries Westover Parkway over Germany Brook near the George Willett School.
You want a motion on that now?
No, I will rely on Commissioner Stady to read that from the list that was just
Okay.
brought in, if that's okay.
Okay.
The second is a town of Norwood items, the last one for them, 230,303. This is also a water infrastructure item for the Robinwood Road drain to construct drain improvements on this road to eliminate serious flooding experienced over the past several years. The third is for the town of Milton. This is $30,839. It's a revenue replacement item to offset expenses associated with operations. This, I believe, would fall under the utility category. It's important to note, as I mentioned, Milton has a little bit of leftover money, Peter, 580,000. They have one grant application in the portal totaling that amount. So I'm expecting to see that move in the next couple of weeks. Milton's done. The fourth is from the town of Brookline, $600,000 under economic impact. This is maintenance and expansion of the Brookline Food Pantry's operations and programs. The Brookline Food Pantry weekly food distribution includes 3 locations serving 600 households.
Hmm.
And then finally, again,
I like that.
town of Brookline, it's a $1 million grant to support public health. This is under the Community Mental Health Urgent Care Stabilization and Recovery Service for the Community Health Center. It's called The Center in Brookline, that is funded through an ongoing subaward from the town as well as the county grant to build a program to improve access to mental health and substance use disorder services for Brookline residents. This initiative created a dedicated urgent care program for offering expedited access to care with the eventual goal of delivering within 48 hours. So these 5 grants, again, before you, total $3.4 million. As we near the end of the program, I hope to have a more comprehensive program description and closeout description in the coming weeks. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. You have those grants in front of you. We need to
I
approve.
do.
them.
I have some questions though,
Go ahead.
so if I could.
Why don't
through
you read one and whatever one you have a question?
I have no problem with Norwood's grants, neither I have a problem with Milton's grant, so I could those right
Go
away
ahead,
if you
and
want.
then we'll
Let's get
discuss.
those done. It's just fine. I'll move approval for the town of Milton to be awarded the grant of ARPA in the amount of $30,839.08 as presented and as described. So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, that's the Milton grant. Next
Move
one.
approval for the town of Norwood to receive the ARPA grant in the amount of $230,303 as presented and approved. So moved.
Second.
Motion made, seconded on Norwood grant, all in favor? Aye, it is approved.
And it's the third one, 1 million?
Yes, it is.
It
Exactly.
is, that's right, okay.
Mhm.
I'll move approval for the town of Norwood to receive their final grant of ARPA in the amount of $1,420,000 for the purposes in water infrastructure and as presented. So moved.
Second.
Motion made and seconded, all in favor?
Aye.
It is a vote.
Now, I want to preface what I'm saying again. This is not directed to me personally. I know our team does a great job and they're working very hard. But this, to me, when I read these, when I did some homework on this, this is the second grant that's very similar to what we already gave Brookline. We gave Brookline $1 million, a check for more or less an organization that supports public health and supports substance abuse. And here we are again given an organization that my records show the center just came about 2023. They're new. They're a new organization. I question how much of that money is going to services, how much is going to administration, how much is going to people who are working there, how much is given out to the
And
people
the
who need it.
20, and is that the food pantry?
No, not the food pantry.
Okay.
I got no part of the food pantry. Seems like a pretty large grant. It's a very large grant, but I'm not going to go against somebody giving food to people. So
No.
it's a very large grant. I want to disclose full transparency. I look at what we're doing to help out the town of Brookline, and I know we're working hard. I also know wherever I go, and you must get it the same way, Mr. Chairman. There are a lot of towns that are saying we could use some more help. We could use some more help. And if there's a way we can help some of these towns out, I know it's not our job, but yet it is our job. I look at this in terms of addressing mental health and as a county issue,
Mhm.
And we've given Brookline an enormous amount of money to deal with county health. And we gave Franklin only $100,000. They were so grateful for that. And we gave that group Safe $100,000, and we've given other groups 50,000, 100,000. We're giving them $1 million. I mean, what do we know about this group? What do we even know about them? I'd like to see if we can maybe take a second look. You know, maybe there's something else in Brookline besides substance abuse that we can give them help with. Yeah, I mean, I don't see any water projects, sewer projects. I don't see school, and they got a great school system. So maybe they don't need the help. We know that. Congratulations on that. But I mean, to put that amount of money, almost $2 million, into that seems a little bit excessive. And I think as a commissioner, maybe we need to pump the brakes a little. Just take a look at that and say, where's
Well,
that money going? That's what I'm saying.
if you want to hold that for further scrutiny,
we?
I will support it, of course.
I'd like to get a little
But
more.
we are charged with the responsibility of processing these. We process it in the same manner, and when it passed the test, so to speak. And there might be something to be said for it's the last year and they're hurrying a little,
Well,
but
that could, yeah,
I'm not,
right.
I don't know, but I'll be happy to hold it up or support any motion for further review. How's that sound? And again, I might want to ask the director what he thinks, but it might ask him next week.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have
Determine
time
in
to
a
talk
hurry,
to
but-
John or anybody else about it, and that, it shouldn't be.
I know you didn't.
I read the description. I did some research. I made a few calls. What's the center about? I got a quick understanding of it, which isn't fair to them. They probably do a great job, and they're going to do a great job.
Yeah.
I'm probably looking at just a bigger picture, and I'm like, this is a lot of money for one organization. It just seems pretty high amount. I mean,
Is it a separate organization?
yeah, it's called the Center. They're a nonprofit organization within the town of Brookline. So again, they're under that umbrella like the other group. They're really not. They're not run by Brookline. They're a nonprofit organization, and Brookline helps to fund them.
And John, this went through all the normal bells and whistles that everything
Yes,
does.
it was determined eligible. This is a reimbursement expense. So in other words, Brookline has already expended the funds associated with this request. They're looking to be reimbursed
Okay.
for it.
That makes it a little different, Richard.
Right.
They've already spent the money.
So they've already spent the money on
They're
it.
just trying to get reimbursed.
I'll do whatever you think, Commissioner. If you want to hold it in there,
Can we
Make
hold it a
some
week?
more-
Give me a little more time. I put a call into some of the people we know too, just kind of get a little feedback. I would rely more on those, people that are in the town and in the city.
I mean,
You know.
yes, whatever motion, well,
And the food pantry, again, that was a good grant. That's a great grant.
okay, I
It just
agree.
seems pretty significant. It's a lot,
Yeah,
it's
it
a
is,
large
but-
grant, but
Quincy has had a food pantry for a number of years.
yeah,
They pretty much put all of them into one under QCAP.
yeah.
Bought a building on Copeland Street in Brewers Corner in West Quincy, named it for a great friend, Paul Conley, and it is a great place. It's booming. I work with them. My wife I work with them through the Elks at Christmas, where the Elks gives them 100 turkeys to distribute. But it's all done under one, and the mayor takes care of it. They didn't apply for upper money, but the mayor giving them other money. But so I'm a big food pantry guy, especially if they're well run. And I mean, even doesn't matter. There's plenty of clients for these food pantries.
Well, I remember I was not here last week. I apologize for that, but I did mention that the Gilly House is a sobriety house.
Is coming
Again,
in.
is substance abuse and rent them, and they're looking for help. And I mean, we could name, I'm sure each of us could name 2 or 3 organizations that are looking for help. So
Mhm.
I'm looking at a way if we could spread it out, help them out, that's fine. But if this center is, I suppose where Brookline wants to put their money,
They already put it there.
yeah, it's amazing.
And
Well, if you
just
think,
asking
if
for
you think,
Can we table it for 1 week?
absolutely.
That'd be all
I
right?
mean, I'll support it.
All right, I mean, it's only reimbursement, so that's not gonna be a major problem. And it can give me a little more time to absorb it all. But I have no problem with the food pantry. That's fine.
Okay, so we want to
So I'll move with that. I'll move, Mr. Chairman, to that end. I will move that we approve for the town of Brookline, it's for their food pantry program, the sum of $600,000 as presented today. So moved.
motion made and second on the Brookline Food Pantry opera funds. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
And the last one.
I would
we're
move
gonna
we table this for a week for the grant of opera for the town of Brookline for $1 million. Just table it.
Okay,
Second.
motion made and seconded to table for 1 week a grant of opera grant of $1 million for further review.
Right.
All in
Thank you.
favor?
Aye.
No problem.
So
Thank you.
do we have to strike a line through Brookline and then?
Well,
on
yeah,
that
just
one,
don't, we're just not gonna approve that one today. We'll
Well,
put a line through
that's
it
a sheet that
and
we-
we'll put it on for, again,
They'll
next
take care of
week.
it.
They'll take care of it?
Yep.
Okay. You want us to sign this then?
Yes, please.
Still, okay.
And I'd like just, we'll put it on there for next week.
Yeah.
Maybe further discussion might help. Won't hurt. Number 12.
Thank you.
You could write next to the $1 million one.
Do we have a report from the procurement department again today?
No, sir, no action.
Okay, number 12, okay. Number 13. Report of the county director.
Just very briefly, 2 items. As I mentioned, I plan to provide a closeout presentation to the county commissioners in the next couple of weeks. This will feature diagnostics. Where did your money go? How did it fare against the overall plan? What type of administrative costs did we endure? And what is our final closeout looking like in terms of obligations? Again, hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we're starting to reach that point. And I just wanted to alert the commissioners one more time, the procurement unit is going through its reform, but while they're doing that, they're also very busy. The Dedham District Court $800,000 project for a building management system is up for bid. It'll be up for 30 days. We have, following that, likely in sequence, Ken Paul posting for HVAC down at the schools. That's a $250,000 estimated cost. We will have the Dedham Superior Court ready for bid. I'll know more details on Thursday, but I think we're looking at the next week or two. That item will be ready for the street, and that'll be funded with capital money. And then the fourth one, Patrick Higgins has been helping to shepherd this with assistance from Carl Miner. This is a approximately 300,000 give or take project to resurface tennis courts at the golf course. We should have an estimate of actual costs and a plan for bidding by October 18th. So the next several weeks in procurement are going to be quite busy, and I just want to give the commissioners a heads up that despite the vacancy and the role of the consultants during this time to do what they're asked to do, they're busy. They're pushing some procurements. You'll be hearing from them in the next couple of weeks. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions, any comments for Director Cronin?
The Quincy Courthouse, if I could, for you.
Go ahead,
John,
Commissioner Stady.
They're still using the Quincy Courthouse, right?
Oh, yes.
And when are they gonna wrap it up? Did you say when they're looking to get a new, they have a new place signed up?
No.
Or they're not?
No, they don't.
They don't.
They've bid it
Okay.
on more than one occasion since they vacated, or since we sold it to them last July,
Right.
23. I believe last week I reported that the state was expecting to receive bids on its latest interest for relief property. I think it was this coming Friday.
Okay.
It's obviously going to be a challenge, and they knew it all along to find a location that could house a specialty service like that, close to public transportation as much as you could with ample parking. I think the state's finding that to be a challenge. But as soon as they do, then the clock starts ticking because upon vacancy, the Commonwealth will begin its $187 million Justice Center improvement, and that should take at least 3 to 5 years for construction. So the lease is likely to be out there for 3 to 5 years until the new place is ready.
But the lease would be a private lease, we're done.
Correct.
They're not leasing from us. It's not like one of our buildings, they're leasing a
Right.
private building.
That's right.
Or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
We continue to operate for them under our standard contract and just chugging along.
That's the last question, if I could. So
Absolutely.
assuming they
Anytime.
get, if they don't get a successful bid, they keep staying there at the courthouse?
One of the strategies that I heard early on, and I suspect they'll follow it, is the intention is to obviously keep it in Quincy. That's the host city. That's where the majority of the population surfaces to use the service of the courthouse. But I think what they might do is if the market's not showing availability for that type of property within the defined space, they might go further out into adjoining towns like Braintree or Weymouth or something.
That's what I heard. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't tracked their RFR to know if they've already done that. But that was initially one of their strategies, and it makes sense. I mean, they have to go where the market tells them to go.
Right. Okay. That's all I
Quite
had.
interesting.
It is very interesting.
Well, I keep hold my. There's always been a parking discussion along with the Quincy Court. I know it even before when it was rumored, but there was a site that sent their paperwork in the square. It's an empty building. It's the old Patriot Ledger building on Temple Street. Nice building, no parking. It's right at the turn. And they couldn't consider it because it had no parking.
Mhm.
So unless you
How
get
far is that from the present court?
about 100, well, 200 yards. It's right near City Hall. It's right where the turn of the First Church is. It's all parked in front of it now. But there's a nice looking building on the corner that's old, owned by Mountain Realty. It's kind of a Renaissance. And next to it is a 5-story brick building. That was the Patriot Ledger up until 20 years ago. Printing press, everything. And it went through into the back street, which came out next to the post office. And then, so, I mean, as downtown Quincy as you can get. Again, no parking. Now they're gonna put it in again, put this bid out again. I heard, but I don't,
Should the state have maybe locked up a place beforehand, before they make the move? To go
well, it
forward?
was
that
discussed, but
something
it was
could-
never,
Yeah.
didn't come in that way.
Hmm.
I mean, we're out in one ways, but we still got our maintenance men there and, like Scotch tape and glue, we're keeping it good, clean
True.
anyway, but,
Hold our breath.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Anything else? Any other discussions?
No, sir.
Any topics that the chair did not reasonably anticipate? I have none, but I'll take a motion to adjourn.
I'll move we adjourn at 1:26.
Second.
Motion made and seconded. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much. We are adjourned. We have a full meeting next week. Thank you.
Okay.